Why, hello, Mr. Dickinson.
What do you want? Hi.
When is your birthday?
My birthday? Strange you should ask that. My birthday is in July 17th, and which is really cool because it's always in the middle of the summer holidays, which means that I never am at school on my birthday. I'm always somewhere with good friends, my mum, dad, my wife, my 2 kids, and we always enjoy my birthday together as a family, and I don't have to go to work ever on my birthday.
Why do you wear different ties every day? Be specific with your answer.
Why do I wear a different tie every day? Be specific with my answer. Well, I've got to wear a tie every day, and if I wore the same tie every day, everyone would know me not as Mr. Dickinson, but everyone would know me as, hey, that's that dude that wears the same tie every day. So, I don't want to be called that dude that wears the same tie every day. So I decided to be called the guy with the really cool ties.
What is your favorite type of music?
Well, it's funny you should say that. Because I have no idea. I like lots of types of music. I like jazz, because I used to play trumpet in a band, a jazz band. I like songs from Disney musicals, like The Lion King and Annie. The sun'll come out tomorrow, and so on, because my kids like Disney musicals. Our favourite at the moment is Shake a Tail Feather from Chicken Little, where we run around the room holding our little tail feathers with my son and my daughter. So, lots of different kinds of music. I like Brit pop music like Oasis and Blur and Pulp.
Woo,
Still listen to those.
Blur.
Woo! Thank you, a bit of a fan over there. What else was I listening to recently? I've recently got into a bit of Jack Johnson, like a bit of Jack. I like David Gray, James Blunt, 2 that I'm listening to at the moment. So loads, different styles, different music. There's a friend of mine who's still playing trumpet in his band in New York and sends me his band's music. They're called High Brass. If this ever makes it onto TV, there's a plug for High Brass there. And they're sort of a big band trumpet section, so I like those too. So lots of different types of music.
There's antimony, arsenic, aluminum, selenium, and hydrogen, and oxygen, and nitrogen, and rhenium, and nickel, neodymium, neptunium, germanium, and iron, americium, ruthenium, uranium, euro.
What were you like when you were a child and a teenager? Were you a hippie?
When I was a child and a teenager, I was a complete airhead. My mother asked my teacher once, what am I going to do with Mike when he doesn't get to university? And the teacher said, what do you mean? Mike will get to university, there's no problem, because my mother thought I was a complete airhead. That's how much of an airhead I was. Was I a hippie? Of course I was a hippie. I've got some wonderful photographs of my long blonde hair tied up in a nice ponytail. I used to carry my guitar around. I used to wear beads, flowery shirts, the full works. I still like the Beatles a lot, actually, and some of the Beatles stuff from the early 70s, Let It Be album, is still some of my favourite stuff, where the Beatles sort of later stuff, and I still listen to that often. So yeah, I was a hippie, and I was a complete airhead.
During your experiments, did you ever have an accident that traumatized you since then?
Yes. I was on my first few weeks of teaching practice before I ever became a teacher, while I was training. And I had to do an experiment where you put a little bit of a metal called lithium in water. And it reacts with the water and goes... And then you put a little bit of sodium in water, and that kind of goes... And then you're supposed to put a bit of potassium in water, and the potassium goes boom! But before you get the potassium, you have to dry off the oil. It's kept in oil, because if you keep it in water, it's going to go boom. So you have to keep the potassium in oil. So I take a bit of potassium out of the oil, and I cut a little bit off, it's quite soft metal, and I dry it with oil from a paper towel. And I leave it on a dry paper towel while I explain to the class what's happening. And then Before my very eyes, the potassium reacts with the oxygen in the air and goes boom, and sets on fire, sitting on the paper towel. So I kind of freak out, and I'm holding this paper towel that's burning with this potassium, and I want to get rid of it. So I throw the paper towel into the waste paper basket, and the whole waste paper basket goes and I've got sort of flames out of the top of the waste paper basket, and the smoke filling the room, and all the kids are going, yes! And I'm kind of running around the room with this waste paper basket with flames, and I kind of open the door and I just throw the waste paper basket out and close the door again, and I say to the class, now that shouldn't have happened.
Will you show us how you dance?
No.
Can you break dance?
No.
Will you break dance for us?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for letting us interview you, Mr. Dickinson.
You're welcome.
Goodbye.
Bye. Hang easy.